You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Today on the Game Marks podcast, we play WWE Immortals, thanks to Mega Mark Tekker. Will this game hold up today? Will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All this plus gaming news, Clash at the Feast, and an update on Gameboree 2021. Plug in, put on those nostalgia goggles, because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now.
And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis, and today we are playing WWE Immortals thanks to Mega Mark Tekker.
And as always, we love to hear from you guys, so please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen, and join the conversation on social media at GameMarksPod and on Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. What's up, Georgie?
Oh, you know, another week, another game. Still trying to wrap my head around Hulk Hogan's main event from last week.
You're going to be there a while. Please don't try to do that, or it might explode or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the few games that I'm already saying, like, oh man, I can't believe that I'm going to have to go back and play that again.
Yep, and
yeah,
I don't want to do that, but
I know.
But at least today's game is a little step in the right direction, and I guess you could say a wrestling adjacent game, even though it is made by WWE.
Yeah, I actually had this game on my phone more than one time throughout the lifespan of this game. I'm very familiar with this game. I played it a bunch. It's a nice little mashup. I'm very excited to do the deep dive later on. But let's talk about what we got going on this week, John.
All right, Monday, today, if you're listening when this show drops, you get the show ad-free on Patreon. Tomorrow, you are getting our beautiful show notes as well as GMP game over on Patreon at 7 p.m. where we are playing Showdown 64. Wednesday, oh boy, Future Endeavored on Patreon. Last week you played WrestleMania for the DOS. This week I'm playing the legendary, the controversial Tag Team
PSK?
Wrestling for the NES. And I'll just say it's good, not the best game, so we're going to have a fun time picking it apart. And
so can I ask you a question about your playthrough of the WrestleMania DOS game?
It sucked.
Did you remember that game being that fast?
No, see, I had an issue playing it back where I had to use my keyboard, and with the DOS on the keyboard on what I was using, like, you couldn't map the keys. So I had like punch and kick or whatever on the opposite side as like up and down, and then left and right was like somewhere else, so it was just like extremely difficult to get the hang of.
The animations for me, I don't know if it was how I was emulating the game or some setting, like every animation, doing a stomp, hitting a grapple, moving around the ring. Okay, so maybe not so much moving around the ring, but like the stomp animation when your character was on the ground.
It was so bad.
I was like, why is this so fast? I was able to kick the person like 16 times before they got up. I was like, what? I don't remember this game being that fast.
No, I don't know. It was an interesting one, that's for sure.
I remember it not being great. I didn't remember it being that fast.
Yeah. And then Wednesday night, it's Wednesday night's main event with George Feis on twitch.tv/GameMarksPod. Thursday, you're going to get another Day of Reckoning playthrough. Last week, we're getting close. We're getting closer to the end here. We're getting closer to Mania. We went through the Rumble. We went through Ric Flair attacking us, and it's been a good time. You know, we're with Batista now. We're friends again after I hit him in the face with the sledgehammer, and he was just kind of like, hey, that was okay. It's fine. Let's get Evolution back. So
I just love those text messages that you send me after you finish recording. And you're like, I actually had to pull myself away from playing Day of Reckoning because I just got to a really good part that I remembered when I used to play it all the time. And Yeah, I was just like, oh wait, I gotta like go to bed. I gotta be up.
Yeah. I'm like,
Again, like catch a train tomorrow. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those days when you're just like, I'm so engrossed in this game that I gotta play it.
and I have like the chapters mapped out of what I want each episode to like end with. So it's ending on like the Rumble or ending, No Way Out, or obviously the last one's going to end at WrestleMania at the game ends. So I don't want to like keep going, but like I want to keep going.
I mean, listen, it's a good problem to have, I guess.
It is.
Like, oh no, you like the game that you're playing. We've
Yeah,
done
right.
way worse.
And you're also getting the Creator Pro Happy Holidays vlog coming as this month's Clash and Burn episode. But with that, why don't you tell us what the streamer spotlight is for this month?
Well, the streamer spotlight for the month of December is a man that I got to see last week at the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Holiday Toy Drive, twitch.tv/Dylan Postel.
Hey.
Toy Drive was a lot of fun. I'm sorry that you couldn't be there to hang out with us, but your schedule's all over the place nowadays. And
Yep.
rightfully so. But yeah, Toy Drive was fun. Got to meet a lot of the familiar names that you hear in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Got to meet a lot of people who actually listened to us, which was super cool. And I actually got to sign our Shane Douglas FWF Live 1 card.
Oh.
So be on the lookout, because that's probably going to be coming your way soon, where someone's going to approach you and you're going to see a card that I already signed.
Well, who was it? Because I signed a few already. I don't know if they have two and they're trying to get one on each, or.
Oh, I was to say the one that I signed did not have a signature. I did not get the individual's name.
So I already got Husvar and Purple Best Wishes guy.
Oh, see, I got to formally meet both of them in person, and they did not have the card for me. So, but I also wasn't like advertised to be there. So.
Oh, you weren't on the marquee.
No.
Oh, right.
I was there. I was Shoes and Stang's handler, so I was taking pictures and making sure that the line was flowing. No, it was cool. It was a good time.
Oh, but all right. Check out youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast for all of our content. Check out GameMarksPod.com/shop for gamer grips, guitar picks, and all of our other Game Marks Podcast exclusive merch, including pro wrestling tees and our TeePublic store, where we got some cool stuff up there. But we're going to talk about Gameboree 2021. We're going to give you the update right now. We are at $1,303. We already said this. We way surpassed last year already, and we're going to keep going. But we got some dates coming up, George. Yesterday, you did your drum stream. We made a lot more money on that because people wanted you to play some bad songs, and you did.
No, I was playing good songs, but I was playing them badly.
Oh, I
the
think
songs were great.
opposite.
I was playing good songs. I was just absolutely butchering them.
But we got some other stuff coming up, don't we?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. We've talked about this before. We have unlocked the GMP64 Super Show live on Twitch, and that is officially happening Sunday, December 19th. That is me and the AIF brand taking on Johnny Clash and his Clashed brand with the roster from Season 1. And if you donated at all, at any point, $20 or more during Gameboree, you got the option to pick a match. Some people did, some people didn't. So we're going to fill in the blanks there and kind of put together our own matches. And maybe there's some matchups that we wanted to kind of work into a storyline, but we didn't get to necessarily do it. And you know what? That's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
Sunday. The
Now
19th.
also-
That's this Sunday.
All right. And also, Game Marks Mania. This is our all-day marathon stream. You know the rules. You donate, we keep going. You donate, we change the game. We're going to start early. We're going to see how far we can go, how much more we could donate, and that is going to be January 2nd. Kind of like how WrestleMania is technically the end of the year for WWE. This is kind of like the end of Gameboree. Gameboree ends January 1st. January 2nd is kind of like the exclamation point at the end.
Yeah, it is the last effort. It's the biggest effort that we can put forward to raise as much money as possible for St. Jude's. And if you've taken part in the last 2 years that we have done this, you know that It's a lot, and it's a lot of fun, but there's also a lot of chaos that happens. Obviously, it's a stream that I'm doing and I'm running, so obviously there's hilarious technical difficulties that pop up, but it is always a good time, and it's always for a good cause, and we hope that you all can come out and hang out with us.
All right, but are we ready for some gaming news?
Oh yeah, let's go. Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at VGFgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
Last week during the Game Awards 2021, a new Wonder Woman game was announced by WB Games and Monolith Productions. The developer best known for 2014's Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor and its 2017 sequel Middle-earth: Shadow of War. It's been 4 years since we last saw the studio, and it turns out during these 4 years it was working on this Wonder Woman game. Now, industry leaker Tom Henderson notes that it's currently believed that Modern Warfare 2 will be the final Call of Duty game coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. However, this isn't written in stone yet, as it depends on the console market conditions. In other words, it sounds like if the Xbox Series X and the PS5 continue to be scarce and challenging to buy in 2023, the following installment may be cross-gen as well. That's all the gaming news we have this week. Check back next week.
Now, did you get a chance to watch the Gaming Awards?
I did not, but I was keeping up with the updates. It seemed kind of lackluster.
I mean, it depends. So, there was a large list of reveals. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Homeworld 3, Telltale's The Expanse. You got a Chivalry 2 update, Monster Hunter Rise expansion.
I was just waiting for Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, there was a lot of games that came out. A lot of expansions for Cuphead, and a new expansion for Destiny 2, a new Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse, which looks unreal. We were talking about it in our Discord, and it just looks so like different and like gritty, I guess is the word, from like your typical Star Wars game. I'm very, very interested in that. For those Cuphead fans, there's a new course coming out for that. Among Us VR, which I just needed to say out loud, because that's a sentence that I never thought that I would say. And a Halo TV series was announced.
Yeah, for Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's something that I, if I'm not mistaken, has been in the works for a really long time. And
yeah, we spoke about it on Gaming News.
And hey, did you happen to see the little trailer for the new Sonic movie?
I did, and it looks really good. But I also saw that in Japan, it's titled Sonic vs. Knuckles. So
at the end of that trailer, you get a nice look at Sonic. I believe it's Idris Elba is actually Knuckles.
That's a great casting.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So now you've got Ben Schwartz, Jim Carrey, and Idris Elba, and Tails.
And Tails, who look great.
Oh man, that whole trailer! I think I was more popped for that trailer than I was for the original one, because that's like, it had all of the iconic things from Sonic 3.
I was just so happy that they got a sequel, and the first one did so well after like the community uproar over what Sonic looked like in the first one, that they spent millions to change his appearance. Imagine after that the movie's just a flop, but it wasn't, so that's good. Good for the studio.
The poster looks really good. Like, everything about this looks great. Very excited. I liked the change that they made for the first one. Very excited. Even probably more excited for the second one than I was for the first one. It looks great.
I will say this. With the Game Awards, there's usually a nice sale going on, and I was able to snag Death Stranding for like almost nothing in the Steam store, and I'm not sure if that sale's still going on, but I would go check that out.
Yeah, I highly recommend that.
Yeah, as of right now, it's still 70% off, which is nuts. And you can get the digital art book as well, which I know was a big plus, physical copy, but you can get it dirt cheap for your computer if you want.
Damn. All right, well, what do you say we hop on over to the Mark Out Moment of the Week?
Let's mark out. What's up, Game Marks? Are you trying to look your best while repping your favorite video game podcast duo? We know just the place. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod to pick up your favorite GMP designs, including our various logo tees, Future Endeavor, the classic NES Pro Wrestling style tee, and of course, Mark the F Out. Order today and receive a phone call from us. You never know who will pop in. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod. Play it forever.
All right, so the Mark Out Moment of the Week is a weekly segment where we highlight awesome things that are happening in our community, our little Game Marks podcast community. It could be cool pictures that are posted that we're tagged in, could be a review, could be just something really nice that someone said on social media. But during the months of November and December, we have decided that if you donate to Gameboree at GameMarksPod.com/donate, your name will be added to the wheel. And when John spins that wheel, you have the opportunity to win a special little present from John and I, courtesy of the Game Marks podcast. So, John, take it away. Spin that wheel, man.
All right. I added some new names to the wheel because we had some new donors. Thanks, Kanik. Thanks, Thomas Sliney. And we're spinning. And we're spinning. And we're spinning. And Kathy Hummer is the winner of some gaming grips, who actually was one of our top donors the past 2 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much for donating the previous years and this year, and congratulations on winning the Mark Out Moment of the Week.
And if you've won already in the past few weeks of the Mark Out Moment, don't worry, your prizes are all going to be sent out at the end of Gameboree when they're being tallied. Don't worry.
Oh man, is it time, John?
I think it's time we get on that diving board. And finally, a game that we're looking forward to. Let's play WWE Immortals. What's up, Marks? We are proud to announce our newest partnership with NordVPN.
Protect your privacy from prying eyes with military-grade encryption and NordVPN. Are you sick of getting targeted ads after looking up a product or talking about it once? Whether you want to maximize your streaming services, get better protection while working from home, or just want an added layer of security while browsing the internet, NordVPN is an easy and affordable way to protect access to your personal data.
Visit GameMarksPod.com/VPN to get more information and try NordVPN risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee.
Protect your information, reduce your digital footprint, and feel safer on the internet, all with NordVPN. All right, WWE Immortals released January 15th, 2015 for the iOS and Android, developed and published by NetherRealm Studios. I wonder what games they made. I never heard of them. And Phosphor Game Studios, published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, and stiff competition in the wrestling world in 2015. You've got one game that we have played in our archives. You've got one game that we have yet to play, but is high on the list of games that I'm looking forward to. And oddly enough, another mobile game. You have WWE 2K16 5-Star Wrestling available in our archives. And you have the WWE 2K mobile game for that year. And oddly enough, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is the game that's kind of the black sheep. It's like not like it's very, very far away from all the other games that are out at this time.
It's like how they put out Mayhem, and they not WCW Mayhem, the most current Mayhem, and all those games where they're wrestling adjacent games, but they're still fun. Like Champions, it's kind of like Candy Crush, where Mayhem is kind of like wrestling, but you go like turn for turn, and then there's Supercard. It's one of their games that kind of you thought would have like a long shelf life because it's not really a wrestling game and it could just live there for a while. But For some reason, it didn't have a very long life here in the App Store, and it's a little shocking.
I'm going to tell you something. The amount of time that I put into WWE Champions, that's an alarming amount. I was really into that game when it first came out.
Yeah, that was a train ride home game for me until I started hitting those paywalls, and I was like, I'm not paying to get Demon Finn Balor. I could play as basic AJ over and over again.
So this game is weird. We're gonna dive into the roster a little later because it's a very, I'm gonna say, eclectic roster. But like the roster itself, in terms of how many characters, is a very fixed number. It's like maybe like 10 or 12, something like that. But the amount of costumes that every character has is absolutely insane.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. It's I don't know. It's like any other fighting game. You get the one guy, and then you get the other guy as a different version. We've seen it many times, and like you said, NetherRealm Studios. What have they ever done? But this game was free on both app stores, and of course you're going to get those DLC and the paywalls, and you're going to get the timely releases. Like, say Mania's coming, you're going to get the Mania pack, and then you're going to have, for example, like the new John Cena, the new Roman Reigns. You're going to be very timely with TV and what's going on the TV. There's one guy I can't wait to talk about when we get to the roster, and it has to do with last week's game too, brother.
Oh, good God.
But pretty much what this game is your favorite WWE wrestlers in a fighting game, but they're not themselves. They're kind of into their gimmicks more. They're kind of superhero-y. They're kind of demon-y.
It's weird because there's like... So let's use an example here. So, Batista. Batista's nickname, he was the Animal Batista. So there's actually a version of Batista in this game that is called Animal, and he's got like, tiger stripes, and he's got the Leviathan teeth in, and he's got, he looks like he's an animal. But then there's also another version called Hunter, where he almost kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator.
It's ironic that he's a hunter, his best friend.
Oh man.
But no, Animal Hunter. I get it.
Yeah.
The artwork in this, which we're going to get to also, is just incredible.
So
but pretty much they're stepping out of wrestling. They're going into kind of like this fantasy world. And it's pretty much Mortal Kombat with your favorite WWE wrestlers. And it's in the name, Immortals, Mortal Kombat. Put it together. But like every other mobile game, you have that paywall. So pretty much you're going to hit that point at some point where you're not going to be able to continue until you pay for the better characters or pay for just some power-ups, some level-ups. And I get it. It's a free game, but that's just not enjoyable.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if memory serves. So right now, how this works, if you were to seek out the APK file for this and put it on an emulator or install it on your phone, the servers were turned off for this game in 2018. Service stopped, the WBID, all that information stopped in 2018. So you can't play this game online anymore, and we'll talk about that during a little bit more during Clash of the Feast. But you can still play through the story mode. So there's a certain point during the story mode where there's like the I guess extra story mode.
Yeah, and they kept adding them.
That's where you hit the paywall.
But I will say they give you Immortal credits, which are the in-game currency that you don't have to pay for. You can if you want, but this is what's used to upgrade your character. And at launch, you only had 25 purchasable wrestlers in this game. And they're kind of ranked, I guess you could say for reference, like Pokemon, how it was like the circle, the diamond, and the star.
Yeah.
These are silver, gold, bronze, and these included all of your favorites: The Undertaker, Kane, and the addition of the gold cyborg, Brock Lesnar. But you could only unlock him via a challenge mode, which expired on January 31st, 2015. So this is where the paywall got a little tricky, because if you're going to be in this event to unlock Brock Lesnar, you're obviously going to have to pay some sort of credits. Everyone wanted Brock Lesnar in this game. This now made them put more events in this game because of the success. We're going to list them off in a bit. And now most of this game is highlighted around these events and unlocking new wrestlers, and this is what gives this game the longevity. And I guess this could also be why the servers were turned off and it was no longer used after a while.
Yeah, now that it's weird because you see things, you see events like that in console releases and even still in mobile games. I mean, that's a big thing for like the Pokemon Go community. I know you were at one point a part of that, John.
Yeah, I had to pull myself away.
Where they do events where you can spend like $5 and you get access to play in this like special event for a weekend, and you only have that weekend to play for it to achieve whatever you're going to get. And then obviously if you don't play, you miss out. But then there's other aspects of that game where they'll have unique events that go on indefinitely, where it's just like, hey, we're going to put this in, and as long as you're playing this game, you have the opportunity to unlock this special, unique thing. So they kind of do a balance of both, and I think that's kind of where we've seen these mobile events kind of evolve to, where now, like, it used to be very much like this, where it's just like, hey, there's a hard end date to this expiration thing, and if you don't get it before then, too bad. And nowadays it's kind of like either a hybrid mix where it's like you get one but not the other, or there's like a consolation prize, or they just have these indefinite events that just run. And who knows where this game would be if they did more stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they did this in this one too, but I know like Mayhem and Supercard, they run with the WWE pay-per-views. Yeah. So it'd be like the Money in the Bank event, and it ends like that Sunday night when Money in the Bank ends. So
yeah. Now let's talk about the gameplay itself. So obviously this is a mobile game. So it's, it's your phone. You tap on your phone. You get a party of 3 wrestlers. You can swap in and out at any point. There's like special moves that you can have, but they're all signature moves, just, I guess, like exaggerated is the right word. So like Roman Reigns will do the Superman punch, but he'll almost do like the Scorpion get over here before he does it, and then pull himself to you as he delivers the Superman punch with like a harpoon. Like it's like over exaggerated, very video game Mortal Kombat-esque versions of these moves, but they're still named and in the style of those signature moves that you would expect to see from the wrestlers, which is cool.
Yeah, and there is a little Easter egg in here when we get to the roster, now that you mention a certain game.
Oh,
but
what? No.
This game, the main bread and butter here, other than those events, is just a battle match. And it's like I guess you could say a tier system. Like Champions, like Mayhem, where you face 7 matches, and then at the end you get to, I guess, your boss character, and that's the toughest of all of them, obviously. And at the end, you could compare this to the current games that are on the consoles. You get your points and you get your immortal credits, and that's what you use to purchase. So depends on if you win, lose, draw, and how the game turns out. That's how many credits you get.
Yeah, and this is, a very easy game to pick up. The learning curve is super simple. It is a mobile game, so it's meant to be played, like we were talking about earlier. John mentioned that he used to play Champions on the train ride home. Like, that's what this is. This is meant to be something that you pick up, you play for, either like a quick little short car ride, you play it on like a little 15-minute break at work, you play it on a train ride, and then you wait a couple hours, and then maybe you're thinking about it again, so you pick it up. It's not meant to be like a console title where you sit down and you play for hours. You can do that, but that's not what it's designed for.
No, speaking of, we talked about Rocket League Sidewinder personally the other day.
God, it's so good.
That's like my new train ride. I can't put it down.
Sideswipe, Rocket League Sideswipe is literally my top pick for mobile game of the year.
And I'm way better at it than the actual Rocket League, so that helps.
Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Find me and John on there, and
It's free.
it's $0 and we can all play. It's so
They're
much
not
fun.
paying us for this, right?
Nope. My God.
Oh, okay.
Hey, not a sponsor. Could be a sponsor though. So all right. So listen, this is normally the part where we're gonna dive in and talk about the roster. And usually one of us will read it off. But I actually think that we should kind of do this breakdown together, because this is more than just the roster read. Because some of these designs are really cool, and I would like to stop, every now and then when one is maybe a little better than the rest, and just be like, this is like a badass version of this guy. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get this started here. So first up, we've got Exoskeleton AJ Styles, and this is AJ Styles in some badass,
Captain America.
Yeah, like some badass armor. Looks awesome.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
And you have Zombie AJ Styles, which is exactly what it sounds like. Zombie AJ Styles.
There's a whole crew of zombies in this game, too.
Oh yeah.
So.
There's not a whole lot to imagine here. It's literally a zombie version of the wrestler, so we probably won't spend a lot of time talking about the zombie versions of everybody. Next up, we have Animal Batista. We already talked a little bit about that. Then you have Hunter Batista. We talked a little bit more about that one too. Then you have Evolved Big E, which this is awesome.
Yeah, nice suit. He looks like a superhero with the New Day logo on the front.
It's awesome. He's got almost like the Iron Man nanotech suit, but with the collar of Doctor Strange, and it's all New Day themed. It's so cool looking. Then you have Pantheon Big E, which is like if Big E was like a Greek or Roman god. Then you have Strongman Big E, which is just like Big E in a Jimmy Snuka onesie. Then you've got the Big Show. You have Enlightened Big Show, and this is a very monk-esque Big Show. And you've got Giant Big Show. You see what they did there? That's a little on the nose, which is kind of like if the Big Show was Kratos.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Kratos.
Yeah. Then you've got Lumberjack Big Show, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's Big E and It's Big Show in Buffalo Plaid. Then you've got, I think, what may be one of my top picks for the entire game, Dark Lantern Bray Wyatt. And this is
looks like the Undertaker bone crunching action figure.
Yeah, that's oddly on the nose, but he's got this like purple energy, and he's like made of crystal. It's really cool looking. Then you've got Mad Scientist Bray Wyatt, which is exactly what it sounds like. You've got Voodoo Bray Wyatt, which is just Bray Wyatt. It's just NXT Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Then you've got one version of Bret Hart, just called Sharpshooter Bret Hart.
Hey, we spoke about this in the Bret Hart episode.
Yeah, and then this is just Bret Hart. Just Bret Hart in like a leather jacket and looking like Bret Hart. Then you have Ice Witch Brie Bella.
Yeah, see, this is my favorite one.
Then you have Lunar Guardian Brie Bella.
Google it.
Then you've got the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar, which is just like
Brock. That's just Brock.
It's just like a slightly more hulked up version of Brock Lesnar, but like John said, it's pretty much just Brock Lesnar. Then you've got Conqueror Brock Lesnar, which is just Brock Lesnar in this like Templar Knight armor, like a Crusader armor. It's nuts looking. It's really, really cool. John, do you want to take us through the next couple ones? Because I think the next one you're going to like.
So we got Cyborg Brock Lesnar, where he's got half of his arm ripped up. You see like the metal underneath, and his eye is all red, and it's pretty Terminator-ish.
He's
very nice.
I'll be backy.
Yeah. Zombie Brock Lesnar, which is one of those zombies. Now, evolved Daniel Bryan. He looks like he's in The Incredibles, but it's very cool looking. Now,
oh God,
this is the era where Daniel Bryan was the GOAT. So no, Daniel Bryan. He's got little goat ears and pretty much just a T-shirt that says no. And then the Yes move at Daniel Bryan, which is just Daniel Bryan in a Yes T-shirt. Nothing crazy about that one. Back alley brawler Dean Ambrose, which just looks like a jacked up version of Dean Ambrose in a cool vest where he's got his logo tattooed to him. I hope he really doesn't have that. Then Lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose, which is pretty cool. He's got the mouth guard like Silence of the Lambs. He's got a chain around his neck and shirt's all torn up. I like that one.
That's a good looking one.
But oh boy,
this is why I wanted you to take over, because this is the one that you wanted to talk about.
Beach Basher Hulk Hogan. He is in a bright yellow button-down shirt with
Welcome
a green
to Flavor
bandana.
Town, brother.
He is Guy Fieri's ripoff, Guy Fieri cover band right here. And I don't know why this would be the intimidating character that they put in the game, but this is what they put in the game.
It's Guy Fieri's brother.
Board shorts.
Brother Fieri.
Yeah. Brother Fieri. Then you got Renegade Hulk Hogan, where he's got the Hollywood bandana and just kind of like a biker outfit. And I think I see a motorcycle behind him, too.
It's got a hawk.
No. Dashing Rogue John Cena. Now, that's not Dashing Cody Rhodes. That's Dashing John Cena, where he just looks like a knight. He's kind of got some armor on his shoulders and chest. And
nothing on his torso?
Little 300. Yeah, a little 300-ish.
Yeah.
And then Evolved John Cena, where he is just looking like he is in The Boys right now. He might be Homelander or something. I'm not sure. And Soldier John Cena, which is exactly, what it sounds like. He's wearing some camo. He's wearing his John Cena armband.
He's 100% had that gear at like a Mania or something.
Oh, yeah. I like that there's their regular version and then other versions of them. For most of them.
Yeah.
But here we go. A-list, Johnny Cage and Mortal Kombat Johnny Cage are in this game.
Awesome. I love Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat series. This was such a cool thing to get him in there. And then there's like another little Easter egg a little later on that we're going to talk about. That's like another throwback to the MK series. But you want me to take back over?
Take back over.
All right. So then next you have the big red monster Kane. And this is like Megazord Kane. This is like Kane in some badass armor. Looks like the Hulkbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Looks awesome. Then you have the Demon Kane, which is literally like a fire and brimstone Kane. He's got this.
It's like Kane if he was an Aqua Ranger.
Yeah, okay. That works. I don't know why that works, but that works. Then you have the Macho King, Macho Man, which is literally just the Macho King. If you've ever seen what the Macho King looks like, it's that Macho King. Then you've got Renegade Macho Man, which actually kind of looks like Jay Lethal when he does Black Machismo. But yeah, it's apparently Macho Man. Then you have what I'm sure is going to be John's other favorite is Pyromancer Nikki Bella.
Yep.
And then you have Solar Assassin Nikki Bella. Then you have Banshee Knight Paige, which is Paige in this very like World of Warcraft-esque armor. It's very, very fantasy looking. It's cool. Then you have Dark Sorceress Paige, which is actually one of the first characters that you will play with in the game. Then you have Evolved Paige, which is just this
little Tronish.
Yeah, it's like very futuristic looking.
This one.
Yeah.
This one. This might be my actual favorite one.
Say it.
Xavier Woods as Raiden.
Now, it's the Raiden character. So the character that you pick is Raiden, but the skin, the costume for that character is Xavier Woods, which, if you know anything about Xavier Woods and his love of video games, this is awesome.
He definitely popped hard for this one.
Oh, this is so good. Then you've got Evolved Randy Orton, which just looks like Splinter Cell Randy Orton.
Yeah, the green eyes. I get it.
Yeah. Then you've got Viper Dojo Randy Orton, which is just if Randy Orton was the leader of Cobra Kai. Then you've got Viper Randy Orton, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's Randy Orton. He's got the forked tongue. He's a little snake-esque. Got some scales on his arms. Then you've got Centurion Roman Reigns, which is again a little.
Does he have a horse lower half?
I think so, but this is full armor, very Spartan, but it's a Centurion. Then keeping in the same outfit style as Daniel Bryan and John Cena. You've got evolved Roman Reigns, again, looking like a member of the Incredibles or the Boys. Then you've got Hound of Justice Roman Reigns, which is almost like, how would you describe this? Like post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, a little bit. With a sword on his back, he's got some body armor.
Yeah, it's like little...
Like the Shield.
Yeah, but it's a little more like apocalyptic kind of looking armor. So it's definitely cool. Then you've got Frontiersman Rusev. He's wearing a bear head.
He looks like Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, you know what? We're going with it. That's it. That's what works.
He's got the panda on his head.
Then you've got Red Soldier Rusev, which is Rusev in traditional, I guess, Russian, Bulgarian gear. He's got the Ushanka hat and all that black and gold and red trim. Then you've got evolved Seth Rollins, again, looking like something out of the Incredibles or the Avengers of the Boys. Then you've got... I think this one may be my favorite, but for comical reasons. Swashbuckler Seth Rollins. Did you ever wonder what Seth Rollins was going to look like if he was a pirate?
Why's the rum gone?
Because you've got it. This Seth Rollins being Orlando Bloom in Pirates of the Caribbean. Then you've got Zombie Seth Rollins, Commando Sergeant Slaughter, which is just a more military geared Sergeant Slaughter. He's got like grenades and pistols and stuff. Then you've got Ancient Druid Sheamus.
Weird. It's like that new Netflix show where the kids got horns.
He literally looks like the druid from Diablo. Like he's got the horns, the long beard, wearing a lot of fur.
Okay.
Then you've got Celtic Warrior Sheamus, which is just, again, like Viking-esque Celtic Warrior Sheamus, long braided beard, a ton of tattoos, the insane armor, giant shield. Then you've got Evolved Sheamus, which I actually think the Evolved version of Sheamus may be one of the better looking Evolved.
Yeah, because I like the armor that they put on him.
Yeah, I would say the
big
armor is very, very cool.
Here's my favorite.
Again, one of John's top favorites. You've got The Authority, Stephanie McMahon, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the Authority version of Stephanie
That's all
McMahon.
it needs to be. But then there's more.
Then you've got Warrior Queen, Stephanie McMahon, which is very akin to the gear that she wore when she came out with Triple H on the motorcycle.
But Xena-ish.
Yeah, but
that's my actual favorite one.
Yes. And then obviously take this one.
Scorpion Warrior Sting, where actually he kind of looks like he's in like Gears of War armor, but it's got horns on it.
Yeah.
Marcus Phoenix, how it like comes up to his chin, like it's covering his neck, just big armor, but then it's got like Road Warrior horns.
It's big armor. It is like it's very gothic looking. It's just awesome. They did Sting justice in this game.
Yeah, it just sucks that there's only one.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you do something right, because what are they going to do? They're going to put in Surfer.
Make him a scorpion.
No, they should have put in actual Surfer Sting and made him a surfer.
With Guy Fieri, Hulk Hogan. Beach Bash Sting.
Yes, that's the best team.
Damn. Drop the ball.
All right. Take us through the last ones.
All right. Icebound Watcher Stone Cold, where he is indeed Stone Cold. He is made of ice. Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold, which is just Stone Cold with some snake stuff.
Yep.
Then you have Zombie Stone Cold, where it's like the other zombies, but his head is actually a skull. And this is very much like the Mattel Zombie series, because Stone Cold, I believe, was just a skull head in that one too, and that's why it's in the bin at Five Below. Then you have Raging Minotaur The Rock, where he is more jacked than usual with horns on his head and in that Minotaur gear, that self-explanatory. Then Stone Watcher The Rock, where I guess, The Rock, Stone, it just looks like him, just bigger, and his eyes are blue, and he's got, it's, if you've seen the Immortals game cover or game icon, this is it. This is The Rock's character from the front. Then you have King of Kings Triple H, where he is a king. He looks like he is an ancient king with armor on the one shoulder, a little Kratos-y also.
Yeah, it's very, I can't remember the movie. Like Conan.
Yes.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, the Barbarian. Skull King Triple H, where he goes with that Stephanie because he looks like his WrestleMania entrance where he's got the chainmail, the crown, and the skull mask, which in this case is actually his face. The Authority Triple H, where he's just in his suit and he is Triple H. He is the Authority.
Yeah.
Then we have Angelic Knight Trish Stratus, George's favorite with some wings. And
Why is that my favorite?
I don't know. Then White Witch Trish Stratus, where she looks like she's in Frozen. Then Arena Ultimate Warrior, where he looks like an arena fighter from the old days. He's got his mask, but it is not painted on. It is a nice metal mask with some armor. It looks really cool.
Very
I like it a lot
gladiator-esque.
better. Yeah, I like it a lot better than the next one, Jungle Ultimate Warrior, where it's a little more old school 80s hair warrior with similar gear, but some markings on his chest. I don't know.
He's got like
a Tarzan-y.
a boar skull on his shoulder for armor. Like there's parts of it
I like
that
the
are
arena one
cool.
better.
The arena one's definitely better, but there's parts of that one that are cool.
Now, this is shocking to me. There's only 2 Undertakers here. You have Deadman Undertaker, which looks just like him, just he's got like the sickle and a little purple eyes like he is an actual Undertaker. And then Necromancer Undertaker, where...
Necromancer.
Yeah. Whatever. Does it matter?
No.
Where... how do you even explain this? He's hooded.
He kind of looks like Ermac from Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So in Mortal Kombat, Ermac is like a combination of multiple souls, and he's like a necromancer, and this is very similar to the costume that he wears. He's got like the black, red, and green. He's very hooded. He's got the glowing eyes. Lot of skull and like bones are like adorning his gear. This one when I played the game back in the day, this was my favorite one, just because like it is a very fitting costume for the Undertaker, but it's very different from how he's usually depicted.
Yeah, it's almost not even him.
Yeah, but like it still in like a weird way works with like the Undertaker's like signature moves, like chokeslam, tombstone, like all that still kind of works with this like weird hooded version of the Undertaker.
Right. But all right, that's the roster. Let's talk about the challenges quick, because we mentioned that there's Cyborg Brock Lesnar that you had to earn by doing the challenge stages. So after that, they added more gold characters, and this is where you got Skull King Triple H, Evolved Paige, Rogue John Cena, Lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose, Raiden Xavier Woods, and Johnny Cage. So that's kind of cool. That's what you got after that. And they were not easy to get.
No, I actually think I played... I think they did... Most of them were like a paid unlockable. Like to get the
and
content.
they were also behind time walls. Like you had 3 days or 3 weeks, whatever, to do a certain amount of matches, and then you had to go on to the next stage.
I think one of them, maybe it was just like one of the challenges that they had was just to unlock a regular costume, like a one that was already in the game, not something that was like an exclusive. And I remember those being very challenging.
Yeah,
like they made you work for it.
Yeah, and this game did also feature some online competitive battling where you could play either with or against someone.
This was my jam back in the day. I had people in my office downloading and playing this game. We had like tournaments on our lunch breaks and stuff. Like it was, if you liked Mortal Kombat at the time, and even now, it still kind of is very similar to like how Mortal Kombat game plays now. But like if you were a fan of Mortal Kombat, man, this was a great game. If you also liked wrestling, this is it's a very niche kind of experience. But if you're a fan of either one, I felt like you had a good time with this game.
All right, let's talk about the actual artwork of this game, because we said it's got The Rock, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar as their Immortals characters on the front. Now, obviously, a mobile game, so you're getting this in a little icon, but the icon's got The Rock's eyes blazing into you. But it's a typical WWE game when you get to the actual menu, because I find them usually very confusing because there's just stuff everywhere. There's timers everywhere. There's coin icons everywhere. There's so many different options. It's like, what is the mode here I should be playing? Like Supercard, there's so much. Like NXT mode, and it's like, oh my god, what do I pick here?
I could not stand the Supercard menu.
I think it's just mobile screens in general. You go to like Tap Baseball or something, it's exactly the same. They're all the same.
So much. So much.
Yeah.
But, you know, they had a very nice layout for the store. It was very, you know, like when you're building your team for character selection, like that's laid out very similarly, where it's just like, hey, here are the panels, the cards, if you will, of the wrestlers and their costumes and the versions that they are, and you could buy them, and it wasn't very like complicated, where like nowadays I feel like sometimes you gotta like scroll through like long lists, like in Champions, when you wanted to unlock someone, you had to scroll down a list for a really long time. And then keeping in the mindset of like that clean and kind of simplistic design, when you're in the actual game itself, I think they made a very good use of the screen space.
Surprisingly, yeah. It doesn't really have those like transparent controls on them. And I absolutely hate that, so I'm glad it doesn't.
Yeah, they pretty much broke it down to like tap on the left screen to do this, tap on the right screen to do that, and then you can swipe to the left or the right to do certain things. So the first thing that happens when you open up the game is you play through the tutorial. And the tutorial does a good job of laying the foundations, and like they kind of slowly introduce things as the game progresses. But once you're in the game, dead center on the top, you've got your pause button, and then the health bars with the little icons for who you're playing as. On the left side of the screen, you've got the 3 icons for what your team consists of. And then on the right side, you've got the icons of the team that you're fighting. And then on the bottom, you've got your special moves. So there's 3 bars, and each bar corresponds with a different move that does different damage. And those are the signature moves that we were talking about. Like if you're the Undertaker, you do the choke slam, tombstone. Obviously Cena has the 5-knuckle shuffle and the attitude adjustment.
We still allowed to call it that?
What?
The 5-knuckle shuffle?
What, did they change the name?
Yeah, no, but they should.
No, they definitely should. I'm surprised. You can't call it the FU anymore, but you know what? 5-knuckle shuffle is okay.
But I think I could just imagine the battery power on a phone that this game took because of how rendered out and like 3D and nice looking it is. But did you know?
Did you know Johnny Clash for Halloween in 2022 is going to go as Beach Basher Hulk Hogan?
Did you know on June 29th, 2017, the game was updated to version 2.5 and introduced the ladder event and the brand new Platinum pack and characters?
Did you know Immortals introduced a mode called Zombie Invasion, which allowed players to gain gold zombified versions of 4 WWE superstars: Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Seth Rollins?
Did you know WWE Immortals appears to be based on WWE Brawl, a canceled fighting game by THQ? So let's talk about Brawl for a second. This is not... You would think WWE Brawl, it's more like a actual like brawl game like you're used to with Super Smash Brothers, but it's not. It was actually like this, where it's a side-scrolling fighting game, but they were all in almost exaggerated like armor and more cartoony, not as 3D. They were more like Street Fighters rather than... They're more like Street Fighter rather than Mortal Kombat, I'll say that.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate.
So it's kind of an evolution here because this game got canceled, Brawl. Then there was Immortals. And now there's WWE Undefeated, where you're not getting the exaggerated characters in, say, like other character forms, but you're getting just wrestlers against each other in the same fashion. So it's kind of, that's what the evolution here is of this type of game.
Which I also feel is what we've seen in console releases, where they had like these fantastical, very exaggerated games, and now we've seen more of the focus put on a more realistic style, which, I mean, regardless of what your feelings are on the matter, I don't know, I feel like a mobile game should kind of push the boundaries and should be a little more fantastical and you know, I don't know. I've always liked when they do the over exaggerated style of games, and I thought that they always worked better on a mobile or a handheld platform.
Yeah, I guess. It's very hard to make it look like something like Immortals and keep it going like that rendered out in 3D. Like, look at the 2K games. They just don't even make them anymore.
Yeah,
but then look at Champions and Mayhem and what this Brawl game in 2009 should have looked like. It's just completely different.
Yeah. I mean, there's an argument to be made on both ends. It's all a matter of the studio that's developing the game, whatever WWE has envisioned for the game, and I guess whatever's hot in the market. I'm genuinely surprised that it's taken this long to get someone who is wrestling adjacent into Fortnite.
Well, The Rock is coming, so.
Well, apparently secretly The Rock's been there. Apparently the entire time that this character was in the game, it was voiced by The Rock. They just never released it.
No, but he's actually going to be in the game.
Oh yeah, then now they actually have his likeness, but he's been that character for like 2 or 3 seasons now. They just never revealed who was doing the voice acting.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is cool, but who knows? Maybe we'll get some officially licensed WWE guys in Fortnite. Maybe we'll be dropping into the Fortnite map as John Cena one day.
Well, I actually saw an article before where they rendered out Bianca Belair and what she would look like in Fortnite, but it was kind of just like a what if.
Oh.
But it looked like a Fortnite skin, that's for sure.
Oh.
It was pretty cool.
Damn.
But all right, end of life of this game. Unfortunately, December 2nd, 2018, this game came to an end. NetherRealm Studios and Phosphor Studios confirmed it via Twitter, I think. And they basically said that all in-app purchases will be lost on December 31st. So they gave them a couple days after the end of life to kind of have your last hurrah. And their statement was, "We hope you enjoyed playing WWE Immortals. We are sorry to tell you that the game will no longer be supported after December 31st, 2018, and will officially close on February 28th, 2019. And after December 31st, in-app purchases will no longer be available. However, you may continue to play and spend any in-game currencies you already have until February 28th. And after that date, only single-player campaign will be available." And their cloud service where you save the game, no longer functioning.
Yeah, I mean, it's always sad when you see a game end and come to the end of its life, but I feel like that's what WWE likes to do with their mobile games. They like to kind of...
They already got your money. Let's take it in another way.
They kind of got like their shelf life out of the game, and they're like, all right, well, this was a good project. It was successful, but they kind of like to pull the plug before it dies.
Yeah, well, it's just probably always going to be the trend.
Yeah, but for better or for worse, they want to go out on top, or at least end on a high note. And this game was very well received. But speaking of that, let's talk about how this game was received. So little ratings and reviews time, John. What do you say?
All right, we don't have much this week, but Metacritic, as usual, is involved, and we have a 72 out of 100, which is a pretty good score. And now we have Touch Arcade, a publication where they rate mobile games. They gives us a 4 out of 5 stars, so not bad overall.
I'm trying to think back to when I played this game and what feedback like my circle of friends said. And I think the only thing that they said is that they wish there was more Mortal Kombat characters brought into the game itself.
Yeah, but that's just because they're not wrestling fans.
Then it's just a Mortal Kombat game. And I was just like, they were like,
you get 3.
Yeah.
Which is more than fine.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely enough. Something that we didn't talk about, but I just want to mention it. Every superstar wrestler in this game have like special abilities I didn't want to touch on all of them, but it's pretty much like I think Roman Reigns is once he's under a certain percentage of life, his attacks deal more damage. And every character has something like that. It was just something that I wanted to mention so that we didn't forget about it. Because it is a cool little feature. It definitely, it helps you build out your team more, where you're like, all right, well, I know that if I'm in a pinch and I'm below a certain health with this character, this activates, or while I'm above health with this character, I get this ability. So that helps you like construct your team a little bit better. And it's just like a little more, strategic building to your team. It wasn't just like, well, I like The Undertaker and I like Kane and I like Brock Lesnar, so I'm going to pick all the big guys and that's my team.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but it was just something I wanted to mention so we didn't forget about it. But all right, John, we've covered the game. We've talked about everyone else's ratings. What do you say we offer up our ratings, because it is now time to rate the games.
The game!
All right, Johnny Clash, putting you in the hot seat. WWE Immortals. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
As my first playthrough, I'm going to say I liked it, and I'm going to keep the APK file, and I will play it forever.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
All right, George Feis, you're the one with the experience here. Play it forever or future endeavor?
I liked the game when I first played it. I was a little hesitant going back, so I was like, oh, maybe a little nostalgia goggles here, but maybe not, because the game only came out in 2015, so maybe we'll be okay. No, I thought this game held up. It's a lot of fun. It's like a different spin on a wrestling game. The controls are super nice. It's a good, to again quote what you said before, it's a great train game. It's a good game to kill some time, and yeah, it's a big old play it forever from me.
Woo!
All right, I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, I try to be. That's pretty obvious. This one, I'm not even gonna pretend.
Yeah, it's okay. After what we had to play last week, it's okay.
I was ready for it. Well, as we mentioned before, unfortunately, the online servers for this game were shut down. So while we were both able to play through the single player mode, there wasn't really a way for us to play versus. So due to that, we don't have a Clash of the Feast for this week. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to continue the tournament, because we are going to decide that in our weekly show on our Patreon channel, GMP Game Over. And it'll be me versus Johnny Clash in WWE No Mercy, but the Showdown 64 mod. And I'm going to let John choose the match stipulations for that.
Oh, all right. I'll keep him a surprise for now.
All right. Well, I think it is now time for us to tell everybody what we're playing next week. What do you say, John?
All right. You want me to do it, or are you taking it?
You could take it.
All right. Next week, courtesy of NYY Collector on our Patreon, we are playing a sequel to a game we've played. We're playing Shin Nihon Pro Wrestling 3.
Ooh, kind of looking forward to these. These Japanese wrestling games, I love them so much because they can come out of nowhere, and it would be a game that you never thought that you would play otherwise, and it could be like top tier game. So I love these games.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, that's WWE Immortals. Are we putting a bow on it?
That's it. Take us home.
All right, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks Podcast. Please check out all of our merchandise at GameMarksPod.com/shop. Join us on Patreon, Patreon.com/GameMarksPod. The best way besides listening to support the podcast, and be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to wherever great podcasts can be found. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us this week. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with me yesterday during the drum stream, and we will see you Wednesday, and then Sunday, and then Monday. There's a lot going on, John. There's a lot. big,
There's a lot.
big couple weeks coming up here. All right. Do that thing that you do, John.
Game over, Marks.
Game Marks podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks podcast every single Monday.